Developing tonight, Hollywood in shock over the sudden tragic death of actress Hayden Panettiere, the latest on her death investigation. A message of hate at the site of a future Islamic center on Long Island, how the community is reacting as police search for whoever is responsible. And an East River train tunnel badly damaged during Hurricane Sandy is finally back open after a 15-month renovation project. Good evening, I'm Natasha Verma. Welcome to the 6 o'clock news, and we begin with breaking news. Just days after his guilty plea on federal charges, Luigi Mangione's state trial is now on hold after a judge postponed the trial that was set to get underway in a matter of weeks. Fox 8's Antoine Lewis live in the newsroom with a look at today's decision. Antoine.
Good evening, Natasha. Today, the judge basically gave the state a timeline to respond to the motion to dismiss. Now, after changing his plea to guilty on the federal stalking charges last Friday, Mangione's attorneys quickly filed a motion to have his New York state case for the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson dismissed. The attorney cited New York's double jeopardy law, which prevents a person from being tried twice for the same crime. Jury selection in the state trial was set to begin on September 8th, but that has been put on hold indefinitely. This while the judge weighs the double jeopardy arguments. Right now, many legal experts say the prosecution's case is in limbo.
I think the prosecution is going to have a real problem. And I mean, I know that they're going to say that they feel cheated because this always should have been a state case and they don't feel like it ever should have even gone to the federal arena. But that's sort of neither here nor there right now. You know, I think a lot of people would say in the legal field that Luigi was sort of unfairly prosecuted to have these dual prosecutions going on at the same time. But to the defense's credit, they've really kind of been able to use it to their advantage.
We reached out to the district attorney's office for a statement, who referred us to their comments after Friday's federal hearing, reading, since December 2024, the Manhattan DA's office has been tirelessly preparing to pursue a trial conviction in New York State Supreme Court for the alleged cold-blooded murder of Brian Thompson. We are encouraged that Mr. Thompson's family received a measure of accountability today, again referencing Friday. While federal sentencing is pending, we are prepared to litigate the defense motions. The Manhattan DA's office remains committed to seeking justice for Mr. Thompson and his family. The judge has given the Manhattan District Attorney's Office until October 9th to respond to the defense's motion to dismiss. And a hearing on the matter has been set for December 10th, which is a little more than a week before Mangione is set to be sentenced in the federal case. That's the latest from the newsroom, Natasha. We'll send it back upstairs to you.
All right, Antoine, thank you so much. An autopsy finding no signs of trauma in the death of actress Hayden Panettiere. Police officers also saw no signs of foul play after finding her unresponsive in an apartment yesterday in Greenville, South Carolina. So far, no cause of death has been given. Panettiere, who grew up in Rockland County, was known for her roles in Heroes in Nashville. She would have turned 37 years old on Friday. We'll have more on this story at 6:30 with TMZ. A 25-year-old man from Florida is under arrest after stabbing at McDonald's in Midtown. Sources tell us the 19-year-old victim is a tourist from Australia. Police say around 2 a.m. he was stabbed multiple times in what appeared to be an unprovoked attack. This is a scene from Citizen-App video inside the McDonald's at West 34th Street and 8th Avenue. Officials have identified the suspect as Juan Mercedes. He is charged with assault. The victim is in stable condition. Suffolk County officials and community leaders are speaking out against hate today after an Islamic center that was under construction was vandalized over the weekend. Fox 8's Kelly Kennedy is live in Shirley, Long Island, with the search for whoever is responsible. Kelly.
Natasha, as you can imagine, a lot of people in the community are hurt. They're upset that after putting all this work into a project they say is positive and it's meant to benefit the community, that it would be the subject of hate like this. Now, I'm standing outside the construction site. You can see the construction fence behind me. This is the future site of the Islamic Center of Mastic Shirley. Now, the actual sign that was graffitied has since been taken down by police, but it looked very similar to this one behind me. We do have some images to show you of what it looked like. We have blurred out the profanity. Suffolk County Police tell us the vandalism was discovered over the weekend, and they are investigating this as a hate crime. The community came together this morning to condemn the crime. The Suffolk County executive saying this type of hate has no place in Suffolk County, and the police commissioner promising to aggressively go after whoever is responsible for this.
We are going to pursue the people responsible for this and hold them accountable in every way possible, because religious intolerance and religious hate is not going to be accepted in Suffolk County under any circumstances.
We want the congregation and our communities to know that we are taking this very seriously and have committed the necessary resources to the investigation. People in Suffolk County should be able to practice their faith freely and our focus remains on identifying and apprehending the person or people responsible. Thank you.
Now, Suffolk County detectives have been scouring the area. They've been going door to door to homeowners, to businesses, looking for any kind of surveillance video. They tell me right now they do not have any suspect information, but they are asking for your help. If you have any tips, they're asking you to call their Crime Stoppers hotline. They are offering a cash reward for any info that leads to an arrest. That number, 1-800-220-TIPS. And again, religious and community leaders here in Suffolk County say they're not giving up. They're not slowing down on this project. They are going to move forward. That's the latest here in Suffolk County. I'm Kelly Kennedy, Fox 5 News.
All right, Kelly, thank you so much. Governor Hochul is fighting back against ending temporary protected status for immigrants. Hochul sending a letter to the Secretary of Homeland Security urging the Trump administration to reverse course. The governor wrote that she had a conversation with President Trump to express her opposition to ending TPS for Haitians and Salvadorans. Hochul says this will force New York state and local governments to terminate hundreds of essential employees as soon as next week. Well, it took more than a year, but Amtrak is finally reopening an East River tunnel that underwent major renovations after massive damage from Hurricane Sandy back in 2012. Fox 5's Arthur Sheehan is live at Penn Station with more on this reopening. And Arthur, we're still not out of the woods just yet.
We're not, and this has not been a smooth process either, Natasha, during that time frame that you talked about. That is because of the tens of millions of gallons of water that 2 of the 4 East River tunnels took in during Superstorm Sandy. Well, phase 1 is complete, so tunnel number 2 is reopened.
Start to see that the driving experience for the passengers is much smoother than it currently is.
Amtrak officials were in a celebratory mood today as they showed off the new tunnel number 2. It looked very different from 15 months prior to the major work that began, and that was because of salt damage to the electrical and signal systems, which also soaked the concrete walls and the track bed. This is a tunnel that's 116 years old, and so it really needed to be taken out of service. But during this time, it has been rough commuting for NJ Transit riders and Amtrak riders, but the hardest hit has been those who ride the Long Island Railroad, who depend most on these East River tunnels. Today, they said they know that it's been a difficult stretch for people, but it is simply work that had to be done.
The East River Tunnel project reminds us that our responsibility extends beyond today. It extends beyond this present moment and into the future. The railroad we inherited was built by the generation before us, and our responsibility is to leave it safer, stronger, and more reliable for the next generation.
Yeah, and in order for things to be good for the next generation, although service is running on all 4 East River tunnels right now, that's going to end within the next couple of months as they work on tube number 1, doing similar work, which means it will also take over a year. But officials today say they hope to be on schedule for all of this to be done by the end of next year. We're live at Penn Station. Arthur Sheehan, Fox 5 News. Natasha, back to you.
Fingers crossed. All right, Arthur, thanks so much. Now to the weather. It was a humid day outside, and we're keeping our eye on some potential showers, too. Fox 5's Chief Meteorologist Nick Gregory joins us now for a look at the forecast. So what does it look like in terms of the showers?
Just a few, really. Not so much to worry about, but it'll be in the early part of the nighttime hours here, Natasha. And you saw in that video, we had a little blue sky about an hour or 2 ago. Well, the clouds are kind of winning out again. So clouds are going to really win out as the night goes along. It is going to stay humid. 80 in Midtown now, same up there by Poughkeepsie, low 80s to Belmar, only upper 60s in the Hamptons, though. 70s Connecticut, mid 80s to Trenton. Allentown 78 because they've had showers there move through. Dew point numbers around 70 most areas, so that means it's pretty humid. And it's going to stay that way. A light north wind will be in play tonight, really kind of a variable wind in the area right now. Here's some of those showers moving into northwestern parts of New Jersey. Even a couple of lightning strikes there, a little isolated thunder shower activity, but the big view doesn't show a lot of rain here, but nonetheless, from Burlington, Vermont, right down to Washington, D.C., some scattered showers that may be affecting parts of our area during the first part of the night. Eventually, this drier air will move in. That's not going to take place till later tomorrow morning. So as you see overnight, a couple of showers roll by, 60s to about 70 or so, lower 70s in the city. Clouds in the morning that'll break for some sun by late morning into the afternoon, gets us up into the mid and upper 80s. 50s suburbs tomorrow night to about 69 or 70 in the city. And then Wednesday, a nice day, the warmest day, mid and upper 80s. Natasha?
Right. Looks good, Nick. Thank you. President Trump's 60-day deadline for ending the war with Iran expires today. Talks between the two countries have been at a standstill, focusing on reopening the Strait of Hormuz and lifting a U.S. blockade on Iran. Both were supposed to happen under an interim deal. Tehran now wants total control over the critical international waterway, which President Trump rejected. The president appears to be shifting to economic pressures like a blockade and sanctions to force Iran to back down from its demands. And once again, the Supreme Court rebuffs the president's push to toss out a jury's $5 million finding that he sexually abused writer E. Jean Carroll in the mid-90s and later defamed her. Trump's lawyers asked the justices to reconsider their refusal to hear his appeal, but the court denied the petition. The president paid the judgment shortly after the court first declined to take up his appeal in June. Trump has denied any wrongdoing. It took nearly 30 years, but the Tupac Shakur murder trial is now underway. We'll have the very latest from court as opening statements get underway in the high-profile case. But first, the 25th anniversary of 9/11 is fast approaching. Coming up next, we'll show you how a prominent organization is making sure the next generation will never forget what happened on that tragic day.